Hey, welcome to a new section on building desktop GUIs, desktop graphical user interfaces. So what is a desktop GUI? A desktop GUI is any program that you have installed in your computer like Excel, Microsoft Word, even Thomni is a desktop GUI program on itself. So you can interact as a user, you can interact with such programs using the graphical user interface, which means you can click over a button, you can type in texts in text boxes, etc. So let's go to ChatGPT and build our first desktop GUI. So as usual, we want to start with what we want to do. So I want to create a temperature converter desktop GUI app. So that would be the first sentence which describe your general idea. So this will be a program which runs on your computer and where you or the user can convert from Celsius degrees to Fahrenheit, so temperature units from different systems, American system to European system, Indian system. So in this first sentence, we are specifying the type of the app. So this is a desktop GUI app. It's not a web app. And we're also specifying the title of this app, so to say. So in one sentence, we are describing what we want to build. So that is the first sentence, followed by more details you might want to give to this query. So that would be in the app. Users can convert. So when you're building programs with graphical user interfaces or web apps, so these have graphical interfaces, right? Even web apps have a graphical user interface, right? So this here on chat.openai is a web app. Basically, we can click over things here, so that's a graphical user interface running on a server and served through a browser. So these interfaces always have the user in the center. So you want to think as the user and describe the details from the user's perspective. So the user can convert temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit and vice versa. So also Fahrenheit to Celsius. Now, do we need another sentence here with more details? Well, if you have something in mind, if you have an idea in mind of how the widgets will be, like if you want a button or you want two buttons or you want a drop-down list where the user can select between Fahrenheit and Celsius. So if you want to keep this customized, which is the case when you have a clear idea, then you want to give more details here where you say, oh, the interface should have a button, or you can also give a name to the button like a convert button and a drop down list above the button where the user can select between Fahrenheit and Celsius. You get the idea. But if you want to keep it standard, so if you want to have a general interface and have ChatGPT optimize it to the best of its knowledge, then you want to keep it this. And then write a last sentence, which is build me a program. So usually I used to say write me a script. Now I'm saying build me a program, because when you are building web apps and desktop GUIs, we refer to these more like building than scripting, right? A script is something smaller which automates something like generating some files or modifying some existing files. So that's more like a script. And the program is something bigger, and usually we say build me a program. In this case, it would be for that using PyQt and Python. What is PyQt? Well, in the previous section, you learned that we can build web apps using the Flask extension. PyQt is also a Python extension, but for desktop GUIs. Other extensions for desktop GUIs are Tkinter, PySimple GUI, WXPython, etc. PyQt is often referred to as the best one, so it does have more features than other extensions, so we'll use PyQt. Press enter to execute the query. So there we go. ChatGPT is importing some elements from PyQt. So you see import that from PyQt 5. It's using PyQt 5, this version. And that's also the version we will install in Thonny. You'll see how we do that. So let's wait for the typing to finish. There we go. Usually GUIs, they finish with this block. So if, just something you might want to know. So this is the last block. And copy the code, go to Thonny. I will create a section 5 folder. So I'm inside ChatGPT course. Here I'll right click, go to new directory, section 5. Press enter. Double click section 5 to go inside section 5. So now I am in this directory, and here I'll create my first lecture1.py file and paste the code in here. Now if I run this, I'll get an error. See, no module named pyqt5.qt-widgets. Now you might be tempted to copy this entire thing and try to install it in manage packages, but you don't want to copy the thing after the dots, so that part is not the package. The package, the extension is this one here. So I'll copy pyqt5, just that, go to tools, manage packages, and paste that in there and search on PyPy. So pyqt5, you want to install that one, not pyqt6, because your program, or at least my program, is using pyqt5. So perhaps ChatGPT will produce a program using pyqt6 in your case. So in that case, you should copy pyqt6 from here, just like it shows in the shell in here, and then install pyqt6. So whatever the program is using. So I'll go to pyqt5 and install it. Close the window, the installation was successful, and run the program. And once you run the program, you should see this window, right? So that's the GUI, the desktop GUI. Now there is room for improvements here to the interface, so these two buttons are a bit too close to each other. But let's try its functionality. So 10 for Celsius, and then we can press on convert to Fahrenheit, and you'll get 50 in here. Or if you write 30 for Fahrenheit and you say convert to Celsius, you'll get this. So if we want to improve the program a little bit now, we might want to close it, go to ChatGPT, and report the problem. The program you built has the two buttons too close to each other. Rewrite the program fixing that issue. Press enter, and ChatGPT should be able to give us the updated code and also an apology. Well, maybe the apology didn't come, but anyway, at least we get the code. So the generation of the code was completed, so I'll copy the code, go to Thonny and replace that. So I'll run again. Well, there we go. Yeah, it looks better now. We have the two buttons, so Celsius 10, convert to Fahrenheit, we get 50. So that's a neat program to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit and vice versa. So ChatGPT did a good job here. And thanks for following this. I'll talk to you in the next video.